Hey Pod Squad, welcome back to the channel. My name is Yona. I'm a second year podiatry resident at MedStar Washington Hospital Center. And it feels good to be back making content for all of you. I've taken a little bit of hiatus making content, and that's just because residency is very challenging. But now that I'm a second year, I have a little bit more downtime compared to my intern year, and it feels good. It just feels good to just be, again, providing help for all of you. So this is a heavily requested topic that I'll be talking about today, and it is how I prepared for residency interviews. It is coming up for most of you in mid-January. It's going to be in person in Texas, and that's a little bit different for me because I was part of the class that did it over Zoom, and this was during COVID era. So there's pros and cons to both, but again, I'm not going to elaborate in that. This is for you, and you guys want to prepare. So again, I can just say this, that it is totally normal to feel nervous leading up to interviews. I was very nervous. I did not know what to expect, and I tried to make sure I was prepared as possible going into each of my interviews for the residency programs I was interested in. So just starting off with the first resource I want to provide for all of you. It is a free resource. It is the Prepodiatry interview cases that you can find on the website. And I will provide that website in the link in the description. And essentially, Rob DeSantos, who's the creator of the website, made these 10 cases, these common 10 cases that are great interview preparations. It essentially has the whole meat of everything. It has the HPI, past medical history, clinical exams, x-rays, you name it, sort of the general format for these interview cases that are not much different across most programs. I think I used that resource right in the beginning of my fourth year because it sort of helped me gain more confidence as I went through those cases over and over and over. And it's also free, right? So I didn't have much resources to begin with, and I started off with this resource, and over time I gained more resources. So it's important to go over those cases. I think it helped me a lot. And the second thing I'd say is working with a friend or a group of friends just to go over these cases, because I'll tell you right now, it is very different to vocalize yourself, to say things out loud, to be comfortable saying things out loud, because when you have attendings and residents who are looking at you while you're in the middle of the room giving your answers, presenting yourself, it could be very nerve-wracking. And I know for myself, I'm not the best public speaker, and I can get a little bit nervous. So it's important to have those friends sort of hear you and how fluent you are, and they can critique you. Additionally, having that friend group or that friend that you like to do cases with helps you gain more knowledge over time, because everybody knows something differently, and it will only add to your arsenal of things that you can provide when interviews come up. Additionally, having your extra friends, especially friends from other programs or other externships. I know I've met plenty of friends throughout my externship experience. They have resources that they can provide you, and you could use with them. And I thought it was crucial for me to get those resources from them, because it was extra practice, extra repetition. Everything you want to do leading up to interviews is just repetition, getting used to things, speaking things out loud. And that's what you can really get better with in a friend group or with an extra friend. Additionally, I would say a bonus tip would be asking residents from other programs you rotated at, or just asking a friend who is a resident from another program just to see if they have resources that they are willing to share. Because I know for myself, I asked different residents, and they were happy to share their resources, and they were happy to go over cases with me, and that made a big difference for me leading up to interviews as well. The third thing I would say is continue using resources such as Prism and Crozier. I know most of you probably know what those resources are. If not, again, I will link those resources in the description below. But essentially, those resources are great for learning the minutiae, such as like your angles, such as your classifications, and it helps with rapid fire questions. Generally, with these interview cases, you will have some rapid fires spread out throughout the case, and these resources help provide that knowledge to answer those questions, because typically those rapid fires come from those resources for the most part, I would say. Not everything. So continue using those resources. The next thing is, I'd say, and my fourth point would be studying the social questions, or getting ready for social questions, because it's easy to say to yourself, social questions are a lot easier than the academic questions. That's fair enough. But when you're in the spot and somebody asks you a social question, you don't want to be stuck there thinking about an answer. And that can happen. I know I remember being asked a social question and I froze up on the spot, and I was thinking to myself, this should be pretty easy, but I can't really think of anything. And that can happen, So I know Prism has social questions at the end of the book, I believe. And also the Prepodiatry website that I mentioned in the beginning also has a whole list of social questions that you can review. You can write the answers to. You could just sort of prepare yourself ahead of time. You don't want to sound like a robot throughout interviews. Nobody wants to hear somebody who's just very stiff with their answer. You have to have some personality, because again, I know for our program, we like to sort of see people with some personality, see what they're like, because at the end of the day, you're going to be working with a group of other residents, other attendings, and you want to get along with them, and they just want to see the other side of things with you and how you are as a person in general. So these social questions shouldn't be difficult for you to answer, but I know, again, it all comes with practice and time and effort. These things do take time. Some people are better than others when it comes to public speaking, but for the most part, it's good to just practice. So with that being said, I'm here for you all. Diksha is here for you all. If you have any other questions or concerns, please reach out. I know with all the externs who have been coming through MedStar, I always offer to them to go over cases with them, interview cases. So if you guys want to go through some cases with me, just please reach out. You know where to find us. I'll leave our Gmail and our Instagram handle all down in the description down below, so you can reach out to us. And hopefully everything I've talked about in this video will help you be the best you can be when it comes down to interview day. Anyways, Pod Squad, signing out. Take care, you guys.